Itami Coco, good evening. It is, what? The evening of Saturday, the 22nd of June, 2024. The night of Saturday. It's probably, what is it, 10:30 at night? Something like that. Oh, it's almost 11 o'clock. So I just got back from judging MMA fights at Grey Eagle Casino in Sarcee, Tutina, up by Calgary. And I'm road weary. Just got off of driving for 3 hours, and I just need to chill for a little bit before I go to bed. So I'm gonna play some games and stream. So I see there's 2 people viewing. What's up, you guys? You can comment. The cool thing about this streaming is you can talk to me, hey? Like, you can comment and I can read your comments and I can talk live. So, oh, there's a Wookiee. Yeah, I'm kind of trying to really get to know this game, but there's stuff like everybody's thanking the bus driver there. I haven't figured out how to even thank the bus driver yet. Just jump out. Yeah, we had fun fights this evening up at Sudina. It was the amateur of the amateur of the amateurs, what they call white collar MMA, and it's like these guys train for just like 2 months and then they fight. And but the rules are a bit adjusted for them, so there's no like punching in the head when they're on the ground, and you know there's some adjusted rules, so that they're not and the fights are stopped really quick if somebody's looking any bit rocked, you know. So it was fun. Some of those amateur fights can be more exciting than the pro fights, but a lot of them are just funny. Getting my protection on. I need some weaponry. There we go. There we go. So what's up, you guys? How you doing? Right on. back up. Yeah, I broadcast a little bit of this yesterday too, and was saying that I've been trying to no, not that thing, I want the gun. I've been trying to learn this game for about 3 or 4 weeks now. I think about a month now. And I'm still not very good at it. But I've been like consistently getting in the top 10. It's like a Squid Games kind of thing, hey? They throw you in with 100 people and you see who can last. What is that? Oh, that must be my bird. What are you doing, Derek? He's banging on something in there. I like to find high spots like this and just kind of hang out a little bit, see what's what. They like recently did an update on this game, and you can get these, like Metallica was part of their update thing. There's this concert that goes on if you get far enough into the game. But you can find these guitars and they help you, really help you escape stuff. I'd like to get a guitar. I won't get it standing around up here, but... Oh! That wasn't good. See, I suck. Yeah. Do I want that instead? That's pretty cool. I think I'll change that for this. Yeah. So I got one I'd like to have one nice assault rifle. And then one kind of sniper rifle, you know? Werewolf. This guy. Did I already get something from him? Oh yeah, I must have got that shield potion thing from him. So I've already been over here. Let's get out of here. Where should we go? Oh, 50 players down. Do I want to get in this car? Yeah, why not? Whoop. Whoop. That's where I didn't want to go. And I like right suck at navigating with vehicles and shit when I'm panicking in this game. And the storm is killing me. Oh, shit. storm is right on my tail. Just getting out of dodge. I gotta boost my health back up. Gotta use my med kit. Yeah, this is my it's my new lonely guy pastime. It's what I do before bed now, pretty much every night. Ooh, yeah, a new med kit. That's cool. That is handy. Past where that storm's gonna stop for its next advance here. I'm gonna keep going though. Get a high spot and have a look at who's shooting. Banana Man. Ah! Where is he? Oh, got me. Hey, what's up? Who's this? C. Well, you ain't gonna tell me, but what's going on? I'm just, doing my before bed ritual, lonely guy thing, playing games. Figured out how to stream yesterday, so this might become a usual thing in the evening. I don't know. I was judging MMA fights earlier, and I had a 3-hour drive home, so I gotta kind of like shake that road buzz, you know, before I go to sleep. I got walk and talk in the coulee in the morning. So I can't stay up too late, but I figure I'll play for an hour or two. Yeah, this is that Metallica thing they're doing. But you can find these really cool guitars that help you, like, escape danger. Oh, the MMA fights were awesome. It was, I thought we were going to be doing pro fights, but it was the amateur of the amateur of the amateur. It was like, they call it white collar MMA and white collar boxing. We were just doing MMA tonight, but they also have a boxing organization, and basically They take guys and they train for 2 months, okay? And at the end of that 2 months, they have to fight. So it's like a program, but the guys, they're each like fundraising, you know, from whoever they can, raising money for charities. And so they fight for charities, and they raise like hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it was just 9 fights tonight, and it was all these guys that had only trained for 2 months, so it was like, it was really sloppy, funny fighting. Like, I laughed out loud at a couple of incidents and stuff, but it's also really fun, you know. I enjoy the amateur fights as much as the pros a lot of times. But yeah, it was cool. I got wind that there might be a UFC staging in Calgary before too long, because apparently they were around recruiting referees already, and they're going to be putting on a kind of referee and judging workshop. So I'm going to try to get in on that, because I imagine whoever goes to that has a potential of working a UFC event if they have one here. But yeah, it sounds to me like they're gonna put on a UFC here. Whether I get to be involved in that or not, I have no idea. Like, I kind of doubt it, because I think, you know, the guys that are going to be selected for working official positions are already being approached. I know at least one guy was, one of our referees was already brought on by the UFC. But he's going to be working other things for them too, not just a Calgary event, but they're going to start using him for some of their Contender Series TV show and stuff like that. I want to go get whatever that guy has to give, that werewolf guy. What was that? I don't know. What's up? It is, it's hanging. I'm chilling out post fights. Just relaxing a little bit with games before bed. So, I learned how to stream this stuff yesterday. I'm probably gonna just do a bunch of streaming since I'm playing in the evenings. Well, at least with games like this where I can, like, it's not a story game that I gotta pay attention to. That guy's just out of here. Where is he? I like how I try to see around corners. I bend my body and everything. I seem to be an alright shot at this game, though. I win a lot of gunfights. I don't really need too long-range rifles. I'm probably going to be on here an hour or two. Yeah. Maybe, like, I got to walk and talk in the morning, so I can't be on forever. Maybe till 1 o'clock or something like that. But that's not what I want. I want the bandages. Oh yeah, I know. There's people that that hide out when they play. I was playing with my cousin, and she liked to hide out. I kind of feel like it's more fun to throw yourself into the gunfights. But you know, not stupidly. Like I do like come up. I use high points. You know, what I would call Sami Suppi, like a hunter's lookouts. If I'm in, like, if I got a bunch of good stuff and I don't really need to run around and look for anything, I might go to a hunter's lookout, pull out my sniper rifle and see who's around. But I don't like just wait. You know, if there's people there that I can shoot, I shoot them. So what's up? What else? What can we talk about? We've got a cougar, a mountain lion, in my neighborhood, and he's been around for maybe a month now. But the last week, people are seeing him every day, either in the neighborhood or in the adjacent coulees and stuff. I went out looking for him the one day, but no luck. Oh man, that only has one bullet in it. That sucks. I should have kept that other rifle. I bet it had more ammo. Yeah, if you've seen the video where I was walking around looking for sign of the cougar, and I was I think I did a memoirs video while I was looking. If you've seen that memoirs video, there's a point where the police they're like zipping around the neighborhood with their sirens going, and they like chase the school kids into the school and stuff. And I was wondering if there was like an active shooter or something. They did that because there was another cougar sighting right then and right in that area. So they went there to chase the kids back in so that they wouldn't get attacked by the cougar. Oh, your comments aren't coming up for a while, hey? That sucks. I thought it was pretty simultaneous, but maybe not. The cougars, vicious. Well, they go for the kill right away. I'd rather be attacked by a cougar than a bear any day, you know? Like, the bear just starts eating you alive. The cougar, like, kills you at least first. But they are pretty concerned that that cougar's gonna start feasting on dogs, and that it might even jack a kid or something like that. In disc golf, you see cougars roaming around. I'm not sure what you mean, but there's a cougar in my neighborhood. Like it keeps showing up on somebody's camera about 4 blocks away from my house. So I think it's here because of all the deer. We have a lot of mule deer, you know, in the neighborhood, and they're here because of, you know, safety from animals like cougars. But cougars like, heck with that, I'm just gonna follow them right in. I gotta get away from that storm. I'm gonna get toasted here. Oh, come on, I can't lose. I had the upper hand. That guy must have some powerful shielding. Oh, how old is the cougar? Well, I did meet this 90-year-old lady named Millie, who I think was kind of hitting on me. I was working on her roof, and she's in really good shape for 90 years old. Like I thought maybe she was in her 60s. I don't even normally wouldn't even be checking out 60-year-olds, but she's in good shape. I was saying I know where the West Side Cougar lives. That's Millie's house. she was she was kept talking about how good and fit I look and all of this stuff, and there was a couple of touches, and then when she brought me in to write a check for me real slow, and there was like Prince music playing in the background. I think I was getting hit on by a 90-year-old. But I kind of liked it. That's a true story. Got it. Has Lethbridge ever culled the deer population? No. They haven't culled the deer population. And I don't know, it would be interesting to try something like, I had a friend who was working for Gettysburg College in Pennsylvania, and I guess in Gettysburg they have an urban bow hunting season where you're allowed to bow hunt right in the subdivisions and stuff. You know, you can bow hunt in your backyard if you want to. Lethbridge needs something like that, you know? Because I'm pretty sure it is the deer that is drawing the cougar, and this is about the third year in a row we've had cougar in the city. You've been a fan ever since I skinned the roadkill. I got in a little bit of trouble from not trouble, but the Fish and Wildlife guys had a little talk with me about that. I guess one of there's a biologist who watches my channel who might be involved in the you know, the creation of the Wildlife Act legislation and such. And so somebody seen me doing stuff on my channel that wasn't kosher, like pulling off the side of the highway and cutting the backstrap off of a deer, but they were pretty cool about it. They told me, you know, I helped them with all kinds of stuff, and they know I'm on the side of the conservation of the wildlife and all of this. And yeah, somebody's a snitch, but they said they didn't want to ding me for it or anything, but next time I'm gonna pull off and take roadkill. They gave me a number to message them, and they're gonna give me a permit to take that meat. So I still get to do it if I want. I just have to let them know when I'm doing it, so that they're not caught off guard if some snitches come to them. You know, Ryan's doing this, and they can say, yeah, we know he has a permit to do that. We gave him, you know. So they're being pretty cool about that, except that I'm already running into an issue with this new deal with them, because I was hired to move a family of red fox off of somebody's acreage here in West Lethbridge, and so that was another thing. Like, they'd seen, whoever it was watching my channel noted that I was working with foxes, and you have to have special permits and stuff to work with certain species. Like, most of the species that I work with regularly, the raccoons and skunks and stuff. They're non-licensed species that you don't need a permit to trap and relocate. The rattlesnakes I do, and every year I have to go through a big permit process and reporting process to maintain the rattlesnake mitigation permit. But for a lot of the animals that I just get on rare occasion, like foxes and stuff, I don't have the special permits in place for those. And so again, they just asked me to let them know when I got something like that happening so that they can get me the permits. And so the other day I tried to do this when I got hired to move those foxes, and then I got told, oops, they can't give me a permit for that unless I'm willing to euthanize the fox. I'm not allowed to relocate it. I have to kill it. And I'm like, whoa, that doesn't make any sense. So I've asked them to give me a list of all of the species that I would have to kill in order to work with, because I need to like take that up with legislators in Edmonton. Because that doesn't make any sense. Why should I have to kill the animal, you know? Have I ever been bitten by a rattler? No, but I did lose the sight in my right eye due to rattlesnake venom in my eye. I killed Bender. Yeah, I got rattlesnake venom in my eye that I accidentally put in my eye. Yeah, I'm blind in my right eye. My right eye, like I can see color and light and stuff, but I can't correct my vision at all, and it looks like you're looking through like what would you call it? Like frosted glass kind of a thing, you know? It's not regular vision at all. I can get a corneal transplant to fix it. That's a potential. Like I can get a corneal transplant at some point if I want to see out that eye again. That happened about 4 years ago. And I was it's funny, I had a dream, and in my dream I was working with a cobra, and I tried to take a selfie with the cobra, and I got bit while I was taking the selfie. And then, you know, that was my dream. And then in real life, I was working with this rattlesnake, and I had it in my bucket, and I had a t-shirt in the bucket to, you know, try to make the rattlesnake comfortable. Oh, Taylor's home. That's what they were barking at. I had this t-shirt in the bucket, and when I pulled the t-shirt out of the bucket, the snake struck and bit the t-shirt, and there was these really nice lines of venom dripping down the, 2 lines dripping down the t-shirt. And so I held that t-shirt with the venom in my palm of my hand, and I took a selfie with me and the rattlesnake and the venom in the palm of my hand. And I didn't think anything of it, having it in the palm of my hand, because venom is not poison. Like, it can't hurt you just to touch it. In fact, you can ingest it. There's a lot of animals that eat rattlesnakes, including their venom sacs, and they're not negatively affected by that. Uh-oh, I'm getting shot at by somebody here. Who is that? Hold on, I'll get back to my story once I deal with this guy. Shit. There we go. Whew. So yeah, I didn't think anything of it. It's not poison, you know. You can have it on your skin. It doesn't hurt you. But what I wasn't thinking about is that your eyes are a means for venom to get into your bloodstream, just like your muscles. And you know, cobras actually spit at people's eyes, right? Purposely to try to get the venom in the eye. Because I don't work with cobras normally, or any snake that spits, I wasn't even thinking to watch out for the venom in that way. And then maybe 20 minutes, a half hour after I took that selfie, I rubbed my eye, and my eye swelled shut. And they couldn't get it open for like a week. And when they did get it open, my cornea is just all scar tissued over. So yeah, I messed up on that one. But yeah, haven't been bit yet. Knock on wood. I'm pretty good about respecting the strike distance, because that's what you really need to do to keep yourself from being bit. They can only strike, you know, as far as their body length, and if you stay out of that body length, you're good to go. And I've never had a snake, as I've told lots of people in my videos too, I never had a snake try to like cross the gap and come get me. Yeah, I still have my magpie, Derek, and he's actually like world record age now, because the oldest magpie on record, the oldest black-billed magpie, was from Saskatchewan, and he lived to be 9.5 years old, and Derek is turned 14 this summer, so Derek's a sight older than the oldest magpie on record, which is pretty cool. I want to enter him to Guinness Book of World Records, but I have to submit the forums and pay for it and shit for them to look into their records and see if he indeed is the oldest living magpie ever, which I think he is. I got someone shooting at me again. Where are they? There we are. Just gonna cross this gap on him. Get to that next tree. Somebody to run us over. There we go. Thank you. I better get out of here before he runs me over. It's coming. Oh, I'm gonna see if I can go up here and find me a guitar. Yeah, so I still got Derek, but my crow, I had a crippled crow named Oscar, and Oscar got, shit. I got dead. He fisted me. With those fists. I hate getting fisted. Yeah, Oscar got eaten by my snake, one of my snakes, unfortunately. um, he's crippled, right? And so he's always on the floor. And the Southern Alberta Reptile Rescue had this big boa constrictor named Tuesday that that they were having a hard time dealing with because Tuesday's very bitey. And so they asked me if I would take Tuesday, and they would set her up. They'd give me a big enclosure for her, everything that she needs and all of that, but they just didn't want to. They were tired of getting bit by her. So I agreed to take Tuesday, and they gave me this big enclosure, and they had this large, heavy homemade lid on there, and they'd never had a problem with Tuesday getting out of that enclosure, and they thought that lid was heavy enough, and I thought it was heavy enough, and it wasn't heavy enough. Tuesday got hungry and one day pushed up on that lid, slid out from it, went and ate Oscar. Oscar ended up being a big black poop about a week and a half later or so. Poor Oscar. He's such a good-hearted crow. Yeah, I've got 3 snakes currently. I've got Tuesday, the really ornery, angry boa constrictor. I've got Pineapple, a rock python who has that weird disease that they get like when they're inbred too much, and so she doesn't have her balance right, and she like turns upside down a lot and stuff, and she's still able to catch her food, which is good. When she's no longer able to catch her food, then you pretty much gotta put them out of their misery, hey, 'cause they're just gonna starve to death. And I've got Severus, a bull snake that I've had forever. Well, probably a good 14 years or something. Something like Derek. Any poisonous berries in Lethbridge? Well, yeah and no. There's berries here that they're not necessarily poisonous, but we don't digest them well, and so if you eat a bunch of them, you're gonna get sick. So, like Tartarian honeysuckle, they look a lot like currants, and so they grow a lot of times near currants, and so I could see people messing up and picking Tartarian honeysuckle and berries and eating those, and then getting sick because we can't digest them very well. There's like buckbrush berries. What about clomberry? What is clomberry? I'm not sure what that is. You've seen some in Popson? Yeah, I don't know about that. What is that? Clomberry. Bright purple berries. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I don't know what that is. Oh, I love this laser beam gun. It has endless bullets, so I don't even have to worry about ammo. It's the shit. Yeah, those are the only two that I can think of, though, that someone might confuse as an edible berry. The buckbrush and the honeysuckle. But most of our berries here are good to go. And there's a lot of berries here that people don't take advantage of because they just don't even know that, you know, you can eat those or whatever. Like, I think of like the skunk brush sumac, for instance. Nobody eats the skunk brush, but that stuff is like Sour Patch Kids. It's really high concentrate citric acid. You can throw a bunch of those berries into just like a container of water, and it tastes like lemonade. Yes, there's wild asparagus all over the river bottom here. Lots of it. Especially around like the heart of the city. Like the wetlands, from the wetlands to maybe Riverstone. You'll find it on the west side of the river. About that same stretch on the east side too. There's a little fenced-in area in Cottonwood Park at the bottom of the park that people assume is part of the rattlesnake program, but it's not. That used to be an asparagus garden. And it still grows asparagus in there every year, lots of it. But nobody's gardening it anymore. Yeah, I love eating that wild asparagus. That's at Cottonwood Park, at the bottom of the park. If you to go like right down the red shale trail, and then you look along the, like, you know, don't go into the forest, but just walk along as if you're going toward Paradise Canyon. And there in that kind of north end of the park is a little fenced-in square area. And that's my top 5 Lethbridge parks. Oh, that should be pretty easy. My favorite is Spokane, the Elizabeth Hall Wetlands. My second favorite is Cottonwood Park. My third would be the Alexander Wilderness Park. My fourth is going to be, I would say, Pavan Park. And then my fifth would be Botterill Bottom. Yeah, that square. Yeah, a lot of people think that's a rattlesnake enclosure. It's not. It was an asparagus garden. Riverstone's pretty nice. Yeah, I like Riverstone. When I was living there, I explored those coulees a lot. And there's a lot going on there too, wildlife and plant-wise and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty, like, all of Lethbridge's coulees are awesome. But if you get areas where there's a little bit of backwaters and stuff too, you get a little bit more species diversity and stuff going on. Well, I outlasted half of the 100 people. Yeah, a lot of the new subdivisions have these cool storm ponds and stuff now, and they're building them as wetlands, so we're getting a lot of species diversity in the subdivisions, more some of the wetland species more than you get in the coulees, you know, which is pretty neat. I like living where I do, being able to just walk from my house to my favorite park. Somebody driving around. I don't know where that storm is or where it's going. I'll go check out this gas station. Said that rattlers cross the Old Man River to go to the golf course. Have you ever seen a rattler swim yet? I have not. I've not come across a rattlesnake swimming, but they definitely swim across that river. And snakes swim like nothing, you know? What's this? So you're gonna blow Millie's back? I considered it. Too wicked. Yeah, no, I've never seen a rattlesnake in the water. Recommendation on wildlife knowledge from a book. Alright. I think some of the thanks Ari, the loving my content. Yeah, I think some of the best nature writer is like what's his name? What is his name? Hold on, it'll come to me. Bernd Heinrich. Bernd, B-E-R-N-D, Heinrich, H-E-I-N. Popper hip out. I don't know. I wonder how gentle you'd have to be. Any of the snakes carried ligma? Yeah, I don't know. I haven't noticed any of the snakes seeming sick at all. Whoop. I died. At least I didn't get fisted that time. Sign up for physical therapy. Ligma's balls. Lick my balls. That's funny. Yeah, one time in Texas, in central Texas, I seen water moccasins racing on the water. There was just this little stream, and I don't know what they were doing, but they were all like, they were lifted, their neck way out of the water like this, with their heads like this, and the rest of their body trailing behind, and they were just chasing up and down the stream, like dozens of them. I have no idea what was going on. He knows dragon. I wonder. Yeah. I think if I didn't love it here so much, Florida would be a place for me, you know? I would have work. I gotta go out in the desert. Yeah, I know. I lived in Louisiana for a couple of years while I was in the military, and so I've lived in that that environment down there. It was brutal. I can't be a barefooter in Florida. That's one thing that just turns me off right there. Cause y'all got those little what's that plant with the spikes? It's like a natural little spike thing that sticks in the bottom of your foot. And there's all those fire ants and stuff. Yeah. And chiggers. I used to get chiggers really bad in my calves and stuff when we go in the field in Louisiana. I'd have to put clear fingernail polish over my skin to just suffocate them and kill them under my skin. Let them die in there and let my body absorb them. That was how I dealt with my chiggers. And it used to be so freaking hot, you know, when it rained, steam just comes up off the ground. It's like a cloud on the ground when it rains. Yeah, while I was there, we had a couple of hurricanes. Not too brutal, but I hadn't experienced a hurricane before. Similarities between Fortnite and the military. Well, I probably, like, I don't know, I guess, like, some of the weaponry choices and stuff that I would make would be, you know, like, I'm not really interested in shotguns. I want to have a good assault rifle and then a good sniper rifle. I don't really need anything else, and a med kit, some protection. But yeah, I don't know. Like, as far as the military goes, I guess it really depends what you're doing in the military. When I was working with the Rangers, whoop, who's shooting at me? Well, I was working with the Rangers doing opposition force. Um, then it was a lot like this. We would go, you know, in advance of some of the troops that were going into the field, and we'd find places to just kind of hide out, and then, you know, basically jump them, and it would be like one guy against a bunch of guys. Hey, but you'd have the surprise on your side. But in you know, in normal military experiences, nothing like this. Yeah, it's nothing like, it's very like, I don't know. It's very kind of organized, and you don't really know, you don't really have the, unless you're an officer or something, you're not really privy to what's really going on, you know. And you, like, I used to go out, I was in military intelligence, so we would go out with a little convoy and protection, you know, and we'd set up for capturing and jamming signals and such, and we'd be working 12 hours on, 12 hours off, and basically just be sitting in a hot, sweaty, you know, tactical vehicle, working with radio signals and stuff, and I didn't even get to see the outside world until it was time for me to be done my shift and go outside and basically eat something and sleep, you know. And then in my day-to-day in the military, where we weren't in the field, I was working in a TK, which is like a, it's a tactical intelligence. Like, we work live missions. Like, I was always working live missions, but from way afar, you know. So what I would do is I'd come in the morning, and there would have been interpreters working all night, Russian interpreters in this case, interpreting things that were collected, you know, signals that were collected. I would get the English interpretations of them in the morning, and then I would write the reports to the National Security Agency about what's going on with it was, most of the time I was spying on the Third Shock Army of the Soviet Union while they were in the Ukraine during the Soviet Union's breakup. But it was boring work, and nothing like what I thought I was going to be getting into. Yeah, I got out of the military as soon as I could. I got out a little bit early of my. See, everybody signs up in the U.S. If you join the military, you have to sign up for 8 years. Not all of that has to be active. Not any of that has to be active. You can go in the reserve for 8 years, or you can do part active, part reserves, or whatever. And so I signed up for a term, you know, a regular, like, 4-year term. But by the time I was 6 months in, I didn't want to be there because I found out, yeah, I'm American, but I'm also Canadian now. But yeah, by the time I was 6 months in, I found out that I'd been totally lied to about, whoa, shit, that storm's gonna get me. I've been totally lied to about the U.S. military and what its operations were about, and especially about the Special Forces, which is where I was aiming to get into. Shit, how do I get on this thing? Whoop. Yeah, I'd been totally deceived. And so about 6 months in, I was in the top secret intelligence training. Well, the biggest problem I had with it was that I was led to believe that the mission of the U.S. Special Forces is to work with indigenous communities around the world who are facing oppressive political regimes, and to help train them, arm them, equip them, sometimes fight with them to overthrow their oppressors. This is what I was told was going to be my job. And when I got in, I realized rather quickly into my intelligence training that we were not the Jedis of the real universe. That we were the stormtroopers. You know, we were the dark side for sure. Oh yeah, I totally would have been. I prepared myself from the time I was 12 to 18 for nothing but going into the Special Forces. I was like really, when I was 18 years old, and that's why I went into military intelligence, is because I needed, one of the qualifications you need to get into Special Forces is that top secret clearance, and that's the hardest of their qualifications to get, to just to like try out. But so I went into intelligence first to get that clearance first thing, hey. But while I was in there, of course, I was working with Special Forces, and I realized that's not what they're about at all. In fact, they're kind of like normally what they do is they're kind of like a advanced team. They go in, like they say, they work with, you know, like indigenous groups and stuff, arm them and equip them to cause like a bunch of chaos over there, so that 10 years later the US has to invade. And like my cousin Jim is a geologist, and he's made a fortune off of these wars, off of just going into to survey for subsurface resources in the places that the US is invading, because that's what it's, you know, a lot of it's really about, stealing their resources. So yeah, I was totally enchanted with my military experience. I was able to get out a little bit early because they were moving our battalion from Fort Polk, Louisiana to Fort Hood, Texas. And I had less than a year left on my contract active, and so they asked me if I wanted to re-up, or at least like I do more years active. If I didn't want to do more years active, then they just let me go, because they didn't want to pay to, you know, to move me. And so I was like, yeah, fucking let me go. So I got out with a general discharge for the benefit of the Army. I did not see any evidence of aliens. They did, however, show us ghosts during our training at the secret level at Goodfellow Air Force Base in Texas. They did show us some ghosts that they believe are actual ghosts on film, or at least that's what they told us. They could have been, who knows. Yeah, they showed us some weird stuff too. Like, yeah, when I was growing up, there was this on one of the weekend mornings, I think maybe on the Sunday or something, there was this show that was on called New Zoo Review, and it had like some human characters and then some animal characters that were like humans in animal costumes. And when I was doing the secret training, at the end of our training, they spent a day showing us weird stuff. And because we'd already finished all of our, like, we finished a day early basically. They had an extra day, so they pulled out this weird stuff to show us. That's when they showed us the ghosts, and that's when they showed us the characters of News and Review engaging in orgies. For real, they had it all on film. All of these actors that we grew up watching on the News Zoo Review, doing right kinky stuff in their costumes. Why did they show us that? I don't know. They had an extra day and they thought it would be fun, I guess. I don't know. I have no idea why they felt the need to show us that. I would get paranoid when I was in, and thinking they're listening in on everything, and maybe they just showed us that stuff so that they could see who tells their friends and family or whatever, testing our level of security. But I kind of that's pretty paranoid, really. The military intelligence is not all that when it comes to spying on people. Just playing with my different weapons here, seeing what I've got going on. So yeah, I got out at my 3-year mark, and then I still had 5 years of inactive service where they could call me at any time, and they did try to do that once I was in Boston going to school, and I got orders to show up to, I think the place was called Hanscom Air Force Base in Massachusetts. And I was like, yeah, right, come find me. Because I know what they're really capable of, So, they never came to find me. I never went to report. And, there was no consequences. Do I believe in aliens? Well, I'm pretty sure there's life elsewhere in the universe. Yeah. Like if I had to wager on it, I would bet, on there being other life. Now, whether there's other life has made it here, I don't know about that. I kind of think that the things that, like the gray alien type of things that people have been seeing here, the star beings and such, are from here, hey? They're like part of this world, like part of this Earth world somehow, and some, like I encountered one time, and it was a dream though, but it was one of those vivid dreams that it's real shit, and it changed my life. I'm gonna tell that in one of my memoirs in depth, but she revealed herself to me as the moon, hey, like the moon, Gokumiki some, so not really alien at all, but somehow like showing up to me in my dream in that form, looking like a gray alien. So I think it might, how you see them and interpret them might just have to do with what your culture tells you. For me, I bet the moon. For some people, they see angels. For other people, they see aliens. But it could all be the same thing. But I have seen weird light stuff in the sky too, though. Mahoney, my ex-wife, and I, when we were first together, we were big X-File fans. In fact, that's why I started calling her Mahoney. Because they used to call them like Fox or Mulder and Scully. These weird, just there was their last names or whatever, but But I started calling Mahoney, like Mahoney, that was her FBI name for me. Like I was playing X-Files with her, calling her Mahoney, it just stuck. But we used to watch the night sky in the summers almost every night. And we would see weird stuff. Lights going in one, like traveling in one direction and shooting off in another direction and that kind of thing, you know. Strange light travel. You were just high? What do you mean? Oh, when I was seeing that stuff? No, we weren't even smoking weed. Don't accept you and you're racist toward you. That's why you stay in Lethbridge. It's not everybody. It's not everybody's like that. I get a lot of it though. I have a lot of friends and a lot of allies and I love it here. And then like I've spent most of my life learning about this environment and this history here and, you know, Blackfoot traditions. Like, it doesn't make sense for me to be anywhere else but here. But I do get some hate, and it's getting worse, you know, because, like, it's just that era that we're in, you know, where it's, bridge people like myself are not getting a lot of friendliness. How did I learn? I learned most of what I know from the elders. I worked with the elders really closely for about 10 years, helping to bring bundles out of museums and back into ceremony. And so they taught me a lot in that process. Then I also got a major transfer, like a bundle transferred to me, and so there's a whole formal transfer and teaching process that I went through. And I worked at the Red Crow College. I was running their Gunai Studies department for over a decade, which was their Blackfoot specific undergraduate program. And so I was working with the elders all the time in that. And some of my best friends were just some of the most knowledgeable people in the community. They've mostly passed on now. Yeah, it's kind of lonely not having, like, there's a couple of people that I could probably riff pretty good with Blackfoot knowledge with, like Chris McHugh. He used to be my buddy at Siksika. He's really knowledgeable. But then him and I got in a little spat, you know, and we haven't really hung out since. I like to have I like to have friends that I feel like we're both learning from each other and stuff, you know. Like we both got something to offer to the equation. Maybe I get a little closer. Alright, good night. Good night, Kona. I'm not even feeling tired, but I better sack pretty soon too so that I can wake up for the walk and talk in the morning. But I'm having fun. My my new lonely guy hobby. Now, where was the person they were fighting with? There they are. Bang. Don't mess with the Zohan. Do you feel that maybe some Blackfoot people don't want to accept you because their culture is the last thing that they truly own? And here's the reason. Like, Blackfoot people are pretty accepting in general. I get more trouble than I necessarily would from people like more kind of racial stuff because of my last name. Because I took when I left Mahoney, or when Mahoney and I split. I guess you could say I left her, but anyway, when we split up, I changed my Blackfoot name, like my actual traditional Blackfoot name. I had, you know, an elder give me a new name, and that was Idumistai, the first to dive. And I was going by Heavyhead before that, and that was Mahoney's last name. And so when me and Mahoney split, everyone was like, well, you should get rid of Heavyhead too. And so I was like, okay, I will. I'll take my new Blackfoot name, First Diver, is my last name. And that's not what they wanted. They want me to go back to my name before I got married. They wanted me to go back to my maiden name, which was Hancock, which was the name of my dad's orphan father. Like, it's really not a significant name in our family overall to begin with, and it was a name I grew up being teased about all the time. I fucking hated that name all my life and was happy to get rid of it when I got married to Mahoney and take her name instead. And at the time, you know, there was kind of a need for us to do that because they were still doing that thing where if you're a woman from the tribe and you married outside of the tribe, then you had a chance of losing your status and your kids losing your status and stuff. And we thought, well, you know, if she stays Heavyhead and I take that name instead of her changing her maiden name or whatever with our marriage, then that's better for that issue too. But, you know, in general, I was just happy to change it. So it's that thing that gets people upset because they that's where they're calling me like a pretendian, like I'm pretending to be native because I'm using my Blackfoot name, which to me, like, it makes more sense to use my Blackfoot name than anything else. But that's where people's like contentions really are. Like, I didn't get so much pretendian racial heat until I took First Diver instead of going back to Hancock. Oh, I thought they were still there. You know, which like, I feel like a lot of the guys that criticize me are have insecurity issues, right? Like, people that I know that are healthy people don't have much to say. Okay, so the name First Diver comes from a dream that the elder that transferred me the beaver bundle, the late Alan Pard, he had a dream about one of the beavers, one of the young, like the bachelor beaver male that's in the family. There's always like the parents, and then one generation, like a generation, the oldest generation of their kids, and a new generation. So there's like newborns and 1-year-olds and stuff. And when they get when they're moving to 2 years old, they're kind of pushed out of the family lodge and have to go start their own families. But while they're living in the lodge, my elder had this dream that there's the young, like 1-year-old male beaver. There'll be one of those 1-year-old male beavers that will be selected as the first to dive whenever there's trouble. That's the first one that goes out to see what's going on, and it's kind of like a scouting position, but they're really like honored among the beavers for being that scout, and that's where that name comes from. It comes from his dream, and I took that as my new name. And it's not uncommon for people to take new names, by the way. Especially guys. Like, most real traditional guys go through 4 stages of life and have 4 different names in their lifetime. So I figured me losing all my friends and my career and Mahoney was enough change to warrant time for a new name. So I took First Diver. Before that, my name was Kayokaki, which was a old language name that was given to me by the late Adam Delaney. And Adam had been the leader of the Horn Society. The first when the first new group started up, there was like a time when the Sundance kept going on and the Horns kept going, even though like nobody was coming to transfer in to take on their society, to take those bundles. So this one group had to have theirs, like, I think 26 years or 23 years, but they had their bundles like way longer than you're normally supposed to. Oh shit, my only rifle is one of these long range things. Not good for a close battle. Probably gonna get killed. Yeah. So anyway, this one group had their bundles more than 2 decades before a new group formed. And when that new group formed, the leader of that group was this Adam Delaney. And they had their bundles 13 years before the next group after that came. And they're usually every 4 years that they transfer, so it's a long burden to have it that long. But they put on that ceremony for 13 years, and part of that ceremony, they dance, the whole society dances outside of the encampment, around the encampment. They stop at 4 places and do Atsumo Iskan, like prayers. But that dance is Iokiman, where they're like trying to deflect danger from the community, and it comes from the bison. How when there's wolves coming after a bison, or coming after one of the bison, some of the other bison might like wait till the last second and then like charge the wolf to deflect it, to steer it off. So it's that warding off that steering Seipomapi bad influences away. And since Adam did that 13 times, 13 years in a row, he named me after that. Many of those deflections are warding off. It's like Akayo Kaki. That was my name before, which is a really cool traditional name too. I got to be really close friends with Adam's son, who was also named Adam, but he died of the COVID. See, I kind of feel like I'm on my third life. Like I had a life as an American, you know, until my early 20s, and then I came up here and I had a life as a Gayo Gaki for a couple of decades. But now I'm in my third life. Si Dumastai. Is Derek still around, your magpie? Yes. Yeah, we actually talked about him earlier tonight. Derek is still around. He's more than 14 years old now, which makes him, as far as I know, the oldest living magpie on record ever by a long shot. Because the oldest on record that I could find was from Saskatchewan, a black-billed magpie that lived 9.5 years. Derek turned 14 this summer, so I gotta fill out an application to the Guinness Book of World Record and see if I can get him in there. My dog, yep, he's actually laying right behind me here on the pillow. I don't know if you can see him. That little Polly who got sick, who got the bladder stone. He almost died. He hasn't been really entirely the same since. Like, his energy is totally different. He seems aged even though he's a young dog. He's about 6 years old, but he acts like he's about 10. I've also got his granddaughter, who is supposed to be Brittany's dog, and then but then, like, as she matured from a puppy, Brittany thought she was ugly, so she just left her. So I got Lucy, and now I've got a Rottweiler, who I was taking care of, like, as I was pet sitting, and but then her owner decided they can't take care of her, and so they said they're gonna find her a new home, but since they knew I'd gotten attached to her quite a bit, they'd let me have first dibs at taking her. So I've taken her, but they've stayed in her life. They actually took her for a visit today. So everything about exploring traditional native fighting styles. Yeah, actually, myself and my friend Morris Crow Jr. did some of that. He was doing a study at the University of Lethbridge, and it was about that in particular. It was like his thesis was that all of the world's fighting styles, unarmed combat, derive from the use of subsistence tools that were then, weaponized when they needed to be, and then that the open hand, empty hand techniques would follow the same patterns that were used with those subsistence tools. And so, like in Japan, for instance, you have like nunchucks and stuff. There were things that were used in for agriculture and stuff that then became like the traditional weapons, hey, in Japan and China and stuff. So Morris thought, let's take Blackfoot traditional weapons and play around with using those, sparring against each other, and then we'll work backward from that, and take our how we learn to move with the traditional weapon, and try to figure out what an empty hand Blackfoot fighting form would look like. Now I know also that like wrestling was always a big thing, like basically like jiu-jitsu. My elder Alan, late Alan Pard, told me that. He was like, oh, we were always, because he knew I was into martial arts, and he was like, we were always wrestling growing up, and that was like the Blackfoot's main martial art was wrestling. But yeah, so there's a series of videos on my channel somewhere in my training videos, where me and Morris are doing that. Like we worked a lot with knives, and we learned a lot about knife fighting in the process. We learned a lot about what is bullshit out there about knife fighting and what actually works, which is basically evasion until you can blitz and then killing, but we work with that. We worked with tomahawks. We had some fun, but yeah, they're definitely thought about that. And we've talked about doing that some more, me and Morris too, because we only carried it so far, as much as he could do for that year before he had to have his study finished. It was like his honors thesis in Indigenous Studies. Shit. I need more ammo or different weapons. Oh yeah, the laser rifle. Fuck yeah. Alright. I got my laser rifle and I got my sniper rifle. I'm good to go. Whoop. Just gonna shield up. Now I've got a foe. At least I didn't get fisted. Staff find to be universal. Yeah, it's a stick, right? So here there was spears, which is basically a staff with a blade, I agree. And there's something just like fundamental in moving a stick, a staff-sized stick. It seems to be basically human, hey? That and a throwing book. This might be my last game. I need to think about hitting the sack, even though I'm not tired. But I gotta get up early and be like, on my game so I can
and show some stuff going on in the nature. And maybe have a cougar sighting. That cougar's lingering close. He was really good, hey? He was really good. He used to rock me pretty good when we were sparring. I don't know what he's up to. Yeah, tall and good length. Hey, good, like his arms are really long. He messages me and asks like questions, like cultural language questions and stuff once in a while, but I haven't seen him for a long time. I think he's working somewhere, maybe in the north or something. Man, he was a good sparring partner, though. I like guys like that that can fight, you know, that kind of like, that are durable. I've had training partners that you can't really work with them very much because they don't want to go like that, you know. Morris was always more than ready to. Yeah, he was legit. Yeah, he was more than ready to fight, to spar hard, you know. And we weren't even, when he was sparring with me, we weren't even using boxing gloves, we were using MMA gloves. Going to so-called 70%, you know, but you end up swinging pretty hard when you're in the fray. Yeah, Morris was fun. I had a good group of guys going for a while, you know. Like that big guy Alex. But then he joined RCMP and ended up moving to Red Deer, so I lost him. This guy Tony, he was a karate guy who moved here from Louisiana, and then he was training jiu-jitsu with me because he has a karate school in Tabor and wanted to include jiu-jitsu, hey? So he started training jiu-jitsu. He did like the combatives with me, Gracie's combatives, and he's a durable guy. I still see him at some of the fights, hey? He's been working backstage. I think he's been training with leading me in. He's one of those guys that like, he always goes and trains at all the different local gyms wherever, you know, he's at and stuff, so he's learning from everybody, which is cool. I would, but I don't. I don't dedicate my money to training. That's why I made my own gym, so I could just find guys and train for free. That bald guy Shane, I think he was a guy that didn't like contact at all. Yeah, he was a right pussy.
like you can't really train with a guy like that, you know. Too light. I mean, you can if you wanna work on chi. Something like that, which I think Shane would have been into, but yeah, that didn't last long. I think once I start bringing in other guys that could, that wanted to really train, then Shane stepped out. Yes? What's the question? Is the head really heavy? You know, that's a World War I story where that name comes from. Then you got a guy like Freddy who beats up people who are weaker. Yeah, Freddy Lee is something else. He's a character. Yeah, Freddy was a guy with a ego issue, right? That's why he has to. That's why he has to try to beat up anybody that's like, that he perceives as better than him, or that gets the best of him. You know? Oh, fuck. Alright, that can't be my last game. I gotta do another game. Yeah, Freddy was a trip. I don't know. I learned some stuff from Freddy, but then mostly like stretching and stuff. But Freddy was at my transition time, you know? Like, I grew up in the... Like, when I got into the martial arts, it was in the 1980s. And that was a whole different martial arts world than what exists today. Like, I was training with a professional kickboxer from the time I was 12 till 18. And so... Like, we were hard sparring. It was not bullshit, right? It wasn't traditional martial arts stuff, which I did train later, by the way. But it was real fighting. But we didn't have grappling, and you know, but we were hearing about these new tournaments that were gonna be coming up. Like, I fought tournaments, but they were point tournaments, eh? Like, as soon as somebody hits the other guy, you stop and point to them, and you know, stretching the heavy head. Hey. But yeah, we heard about these what would become the Ultimate Fighting Championship. We heard about these kind of last man standing events that were going to be coming out. And if I hadn't have gone in the military, for sure my instructor would have pushed me toward that stuff, because that was the kind of like guy he was. Unfortunately, he's paid a price for it. He was the fire chief of Salem, Oregon for a good term, and but then he developed Alzheimer's, early onset Alzheimer's, really bad Alzheimer's, and I'm sure it was from how many times he got hit in the head, you know, from all of that fighting we were doing. And before me, he was a professional kickboxer for a while. But anyway, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that story. Oh, Freddy, yeah. So growing up, but we didn't like, yeah. It was still like the martial arts world was still like, for the most part, it was like all these traditional schools, and they didn't like you like mixing things up. Like Bruce Lee was the big shit because he you know, said go ahead and mix things, right? And doesn't matter, you know, whether you're whatever shade of brown or whatever, come train this stuff, right? Like, he wasn't racist too. So Bruce Lee's really kind of the father of mixed martial arts in a way, but the Gracies changed things. Like, as far as changing the martial arts, it was the Gracie family that like really shifted things up when they started the Ultimate Fighting Championship and introduced jiu-jitsu to the world. And, you know, just getting a mixed martial arts full contact event rolling like that, like, so every year since then, so much has been learned. Like, huge advances in martial arts have been made since I was a kid. For thousands of years they were the same, and then because of the UFC, massive changes. And now, like, people are so much better fighters than in the past. Shit, out of bullets. I'm gonna die early on this game too. Come on, guy. I'm trying to murder you here. Stay still. Oh, Morris would have killed Freddy. Yeah. No, Morris would have killed Freddy because he would have amped it up. Oh, I see the comment about the cougar too. I'll get to that. We have talked about the cougar already on the stream, but I'll repeat it. But yeah, because Morris wouldn't have went soft on him, and then Freddy would have tried to hurt him to like prove how much better he was, and then Morris wouldn't have had it, you know. Like I think most of Freddy's students just don't really try to get over anything too good on Freddy, because they don't want it to lose his cool, you know. Yeah. The cougar has been sighted almost every day. It's still here in the neighborhood and in the adjacent coulees, and I'll be out there first thing in the morning doing my walk and talk and looking. But yeah, every day now there's been sightings. So that video, the memoirs video that I made the other day, where you see the city police, you know, going around the neighborhood with their sirens and chasing the school kids into the school. That was, I guess, because right as I was doing that walk and kind of looking for cougar sign, a cougar had been sighted right there in that block. And so they were chasing the school kids in so that they didn't get eaten. You know, the cop drove past me, and I was there like filming myself, drove right past me, and I just waved and didn't tell me, hey, look out, there's a cougar on this block. But I would just said, yeah, I'm looking for it. Millie the cougar, exactly. I know where she lives. Millie's den. Yeah, Michael, if you weren't on earlier, I had a cougar encounter recently with a 90-year-old that I'm pretty sure is hitting on me. And actually, like, for 90 years old, she wasn't bad. Yeah, cougars are the same as mountain lion. Same thing. Yep. Same thing. Yeah, she had the Prince music. I think it was Kiss in the background, you know. Yeah, she's got money. Seems like it. She's got a nice house. I've been inside it. It's all nice. She's taking care of it very well. I don't know. Yeah, you know. These thoughts cross my mind too. Oh, Ryan's really lost his marbles. Yeah. Marry her. She's interested. I don't know if any of y'all ever thought about being a gigolo. I entertained that notion back when I had teeth one time. I thought there's all these single moms, you know, I wonder if they'd pay to have like a discreet, like, you know, get their itch scratched, you know. So then I tried it on this single mom. You know, she was messaging me online. I knew she was like hitting on me, looking for a hookup, and so like I was like, hey, I've been thinking about you know, like offering services for like, I don't know, even like, you know, $50 an hour, my usual fee, right, for doing anything else. And and the girl tells me, yeah, you know, I bet you're gonna come here whether I pay you or not. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, and she was right. So that didn't work out. We just don't have guys don't have the power like that. I think unless they're selling to other guys, and it's just not my thing. Like, I'm not gonna make any money on OnlyFans. Thank you. Banana Man. Oh, I could use more weapons. Like something with a big scope on it. Is there a guitar in here? Do I get to take a guitar? No. I want one of their guitars. There are guitars you can grab, and then they like shoot you up in the air. You can escape that storm front real easy. Coming, yeah. Hey. I wish they still had some Navajo group had film crew had put together this like when what was that movie? 50 Shades of Grey? They put together this little short film that was like a trailer mock-up. Instead of 50 Shades of Grey, it was 50 Shades of A. It was fucking hilarious. But they took it down. I don't know why. I can't find it anymore. No, Belle's mom, as soon as I was breaking up with Mahoney, Belle's mom told me I'm never seeing Belle again. And, yeah, she has not let me have any contact. So I was, when I left my relationship with Mahoney, I lost even my daughter, who I raised, you know, Justine, I raised from 4 years old till she was like 26. She hasn't talked to me in all those years since I left Mahoney, in the last 6 years or whatever. So yeah, I've had no contact with Belle. Nothing. I even one time, like, kind of desperately, because I know one of Belle's friends pretty good, and I know he still keeps contact with her, and I one time tried to ask through him if he could see if she wanted to contact me or something, and I don't think he ever asked or anything, and I felt stupid afterward for even trying, but yeah, no, it sucks, eh? Yeah. So, if I were to happen to run into Justine in the aisle of a grocery store, would she ignore you? Yep. In fact, that has happened. Wasn't a grocery store. It was a cannabis store. And I bumped into Justine there, and she did not talk to me. She just got out of the store and left right away. She didn't want to be around me. Even my brother stopped talking to me at that time and hasn't talked to me since. Even when I went to go visit my parents last year, May, and I took Brittany with. It was on my birthday, and we were gonna go out to dinner for Mexican, and my brother was supposed to join us, but yeah, he didn't want to see me, so we didn't do it. Yeah. I upset some people's. Yeah, it sucks, man, because she basically, she basically would deny now that, like, I am her dad, even though I totally raised her, you know, her whole life. Whoa. I'm a terrible driver at this game. Yeah, no, even like, even Mahoney feels bad for me. The way that I've been cut off from people like that, you know? Oh, shit. Should I try driving again? Might as well. Bang! Where are you? Did I kill you? Where'd you go? Yeah, I kinda am a bad driver in real life. That comes from being blind in one eye, though. I bumped into that something on that side that I can't see on that side. I don't want that torch. Fuck that torch. Yeah, I was trying to pull into this, the Bank of Montreal's here. They got drive-ins, but all their drive-ins are like really narrow, and they got these like concrete posts and shit. And yeah, I really fucked up my truck on one of those concrete posts one day. Yeah. Let's trade that. Grab up this and that. What all we got here? Now, fortunately, I haven't got in any, like, accidents since I was like 19 years old. Gotcha. Do I have a plan of action should I get bit by a rattlesnake out in the field? Oh, I don't carry anti-venom, and you don't really need to. You got plenty of time to get to the hospital. If I get bit, I'm just gonna, you know, find a way to the hospital. I'm gonna have to call. You should call an ambulance. Shouldn't take yourself to the hospital for a rattlesnake bite because you have there's a hemotoxin. The most of it is a hemotoxin with this species. But there is a little neurotoxin in there too, and it phases in like maybe 15-20 minutes into the bite. You can experience parts of your body going numb and stuff, and so you don't want to be driving if you're losing, you know, feeling in your legs and shit like that. So you should call for an ambulance, but you got to, like, even if I was down in the bottom of the coulee, I could call for an ambulance to meet me up on top. And I'm gonna be in pain, you know, but it's gonna be okay. So yeah, my plan of action is go to the hospital. That's where the anti-venom is. And pretty much anywhere I am, I'm gonna be able to get to the hospital within an hour, and that's plenty of time. It's not like the anti-venom cures it like that anyway, you know? All of the veterinarians here have, all of the veterinarian hospitals have strategies for working with rattlesnake bitten. Whoa, shit. That guy snuck up on me. All of them have strategies for dealing with rattlesnake bitten pets because there are, each one of them sees dozens of pets that have been bitten every year. Well, at least a dozen. Each one of them sees, because there are dozens of pets here bitten every year. Unfortunately, there's not like a anti-venom for for pets, and so they just have to do what they can to take the inflammation down and make sure that the venom's, you know, clear of their bloodstream. But really, I think, you know, unless your pet is bitten in some way where it's in danger of death, which sometimes, I mean, a lot of times dogs get bitten on the face, of course. So if their throats and shit swell up too much, you know, they might not be able to breathe and stuff. So you might have to bring them to a pet hospital, but I think for the most part, there's not really much they can do. They just monitor them and charge you a couple $1,000 and keep them for 72 hours. There is one veterinarian in town here that offers a vaccine for rattlesnake venom for pets. So you can get your pet vaccinated such that if it does get bitten, the effects are going to be lesser and might not need to go to the vet, you know. So it's not a bad idea, I don't think, to get your pet vaccinated. But yeah, there's never been any anti-venom for dogs or anything like that, unfortunately. It costs too much, you know, it costs too much. Like, when a human being gets bitten, we require like 10 or more vials of anti-venom, typically. And this is Crofab in particular that I'm talking about. Crofab is the North American standard anti-venom. And we usually need 10 or more vials. And each of those vials markets for $4,000 a piece. So, you know, imagine you're trying to get anti-venom for a dog. Like, the vet isn't even gonna stock that stuff, because who's gonna pay for it, you know? Yeah, it's wicked expensive. If you get bit by a rattlesnake in the States and you have, you know, you have to deal with that cost yourself, you're gonna come out of your 72-hour stay in the hospital with probably a $100,000 bill. Fortunately, here in Alberta, your cost is gonna be zero. Doesn't mean go get bit by a snake. Is Canada a socialist democracy? I don't know what you call it. To me, it's a lot like the United States, except you have an election when people really make a call for it instead of every so many years. And should I grab what can you do with a fishing pole? I'm gonna have to check that out. Yeah, the elections, like, when people are like, we need an election because, you know, enough of this. So there's elections when people call for it, and then more money is spent on health than military. You know, that's the big difference. But I don't see it as, you know, like, as far as there's not a lot of other service benefits that are different than the U.S. other than our health. Like, we get a lot of better deals on health services here, you know. So if that's socialist, you know, I don't see it any more socialist than the tax system for services in the U.S., you know. It's just it's spent differently in Canada. It's not all on the military. Um, uh, Anytime you have a critical emergency, um, it's free of charge. It's part of our public health care system. I mean, there is a lot of stuff, like, I mean, I obviously would get my teeth taken care of if I could, but I gotta pay for that if I want that. I can get my teeth removed, but I can't get my new teeth put in unless I want to pay for it, you know. They'll see the critical need of taking my teeth out of my head, but not putting new teeth back in, you know. So, but you know, at least if I start feeling like I've got an infection issue, I can have them taken out of my head. Which I probably do got an infection issue, but sorry, bud. Yeah, and you know, there's a lot of inexpensive. Like I went to my doctor the other day because I've had this like lingering, what do you call it, acid reflux. Like you can probably see it in my videos when I'm talking. I have to stop and like, because I'm having an acid reflux issue. I can't talk through it, you know. Interrupts my talking. And so I went to my doctor finally the other day. I could have gone like a year or two ago and done this, but the other day I went and said I want something for my acid reflux, and you know, in 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes, I had a prescription, and that medication costs me $20. Whoop, that storm is gonna kill me. That medication is costing me $20 a month. And I don't know what it would cost in the state. And I don't have any insurance. If I had insurance, it would be zero. When I worked for Red Crow College, I had good medical insurance. But since just being on my own, I don't have any medical insurance besides our public health care. I should have I had this disability insurance that I was paying like $35 a month for. And then at one point I decided, I don't want that disability insurance, it's just another bill. So I cut it off. And then right after that, you know, like later on in that season is when I got blinded by the rattlesnake venom. A permanent disability I could have wickedly had some good claim for, but oh well. Yeah, I don't know why the U.S. doesn't institute better public health. It is really the only like civilized nation that doesn't take care of people like that, you know? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's my alcohol consumption that has caused the acid reflux, you know? And probably ceasing alcohol consumption would put it to rest, but Fuck. That guy's got a better rifle than me. And I got no protection. Don't lie down immediately after eating. Yeah. I don't really eat big meals anyway. In fact, a lot of times I eat barely anything. Today I ate 2 chicken breasts. But over an extended period, you know, I had them with me on my road trip to Calgary, and I just kind of ate one piecemeal on the 3-hour drive up, and then another one. The other one is not even completely finished. I still got a little bit of it left on the way back. And I ate a little celery this morning. I don't eat that much. It's usually just straight meat and veg. I just ran back up the cliff that I jumped down, didn't I? Pretty cool. Yeah, I'm gonna end after this game. Can't you put an advance notice to your YouTube subscribers to notify them when you're going live? Yeah, I'm gonna figure that out and start doing it. But I will tell you that I've been playing games every night, and this is kind of fun being able to interact with people, so I'm probably gonna continue doing it. So I don't know if it'll be like, it's when I'm playing a game like this, it's really good for streaming because I can kind of play and simultaneously talk. But some of the games, like I'm playing this game Ghost of Tsushima, and it's like a storied game. It's leading you through a kind of a story, and you have to really pay attention to the story or you don't really know what's going on, and so I think I would find that hard to stream with. But I think whenever I'm playing something like this where I can just do it simultaneously to talk as I'm talking to people, I'll go ahead and stream. And I will figure out how to do notices and plan to do stream sessions, you know. I started streaming on Twitch too. I don't even know how to like build an audience on Twitch or anything, but I figure that's where people go to watch gaming stuff. But I don't know, it's not really the I think here on my YouTube it's not really about the gaming. Just the opportunity to chat with people is kind of cool. So yeah, I'll figure that out, and I will put some advance notices for some future ones. I'm probably going to stream tomorrow night though. I think so. Yeah, you too. I'm going to finish off this game and close it up. Thanks for chatting. Yep, tomorrow night, I think around 9 o'clock, I'll be jumping on. If I do anything before that, I'll just stream it on Twitch. Hey, I see I got a viewer. Everybody else just left. I'm gonna be finishing up this game and then closing up for the night, but I'm gonna live stream again tomorrow night, starting around 9 o'clock. Yeah, I've been on for 2.5 hours and I gotta get up for walk and talk in the coulee tomorrow morning, so it's my last game for the night. So what's up? Oh yes, a guitar. That's what I want. No, the guitar. No, the guitar. Yeah. Oh, I'm dead. Alright, so I am going to get off the air, but yeah, tomorrow night I'm going to be live streaming again starting at around 9 o'clock. If you want to come talk to me. I got to try to figure out how to shut it off.